Mobile Tech RX, the app that helps you make more money.
Don't forget to grab your Magnatech mat, available at most PDR tool distributors. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of PDR Tool Time. This is episode 245 with your hosts, Vince D'Alessandro, John Renstrom, Daniel Grum, and Hudson Tansey. We're all here to make your lives better. And today, this podcast is brought to you by America. America, freedom. Hopefully we survived. The elections was last week. We're actually recording this on election night, so we have no idea.
So this is coming out when the Civil War starts, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Everything will be burned to the ground already, and the ashes were rising like a phoenix from the ashes.
That's right. That's right.
So,
I like that. That's good.
What does a phoenix even sound like?
Caw.
Yeah,
it's probably pretty hot. I can tell you that.
Yeah. Ooh.
so hot.
Ooh.
So, and on
Didn't you watch Harry Potter?
Yes, I did.
They had the phoenix and it cawed. It made a noise.
Did it?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
So, one of our John, what was that best quote for the night for tonight? This is election night that we're recording, and John found the best quote on Facebook tonight by a fellow dent technician of Sean Ferguson, I believe his name was, Hudson's best friend. What was his quote?
His quote was, "It feels like the whole of America is waiting on an STD result."
That's right. So I think we might be getting, it's a week later, so hopefully those results of our STD test are in.
Right. I hope we come back clear.
Right.
What is there a clear in this state? Good night.
I don't.
Wow.
I don't know.
Oh man.
You know, old people in
Yeah.
nursing homes, they account for a lot of STDs from what I hear. And we have
I've heard STDs are on the rise in nursing homes, but I mean, what else are you going to do?
right. Go ahead, Daniel.
I remember that one time with you, Vince, we had to wait for that result for when you had that gonorrhoesyphilis.
Oh, yes. The gonorrhoesyphilis, the gift that keeps on giving.
And once you've had that, you can never get COVID.
That's right.
Yeah, you're COVID free then.
It's just the way it's transmitted is very painful.
If you want to just make yourself immune, just go to Tijuana. That's for the gonorrhoesyphilis special.
Yes, during the donkey show.
Yeah.
Or in between the donkey. Never mind.
This is going off the rails fast.
All right, so this is episode 245.
Roll this back in.
We're,
Episode 245.
Yeah, we got a bunch of stuff that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk just kind of a mixed bag of goods of what's going on in our industry. I know for myself, there's a lot of things going on over at Anson, and more
I want to talk
importantly,
about this.
oh yeah, good. I sent you that one. Actually, I charged you for that too. You paid for that. I don't know if you knew that.
I told you to charge me for that.
You did. Yeah. But
What is this thing called?
The Fetty.
Fetty.
The Fetty.
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 Not
Nothing
Gene Fetty.
to do with Gene Fetty.
No, Fetty. Feddy.
Nice. All right. Well, you brought it up. What about it?
Yeah.
What about it, Daniel?
I haven't used it yet. I'm excited to use it, but I haven't used it yet. I'm like,
You're whipping it around. You're whipping it around like I do the helicopter show for my wife every morning.
It's one of those fidget tools. It's a fidget tool. You just want to sit there and you want to spin it and play with it.
All right. What is the premise behind that tool? Tight location. You can't get
you can't swing a hammer. That's where you use this. But I want a extra large version of this. When you guys like a huge big one, so when you're working on like a rear quarter panel, and you can't swing a hammer somewhere.
I don't know. That sounds like
a motorcycle tank.
Could you put a giant mushroom tip on that and do it as like a knockdown?
Absolutely. You don't even need a mushroom tip. I had a phenolic tip on one side. And
what?
Phenolic. Wood?
Bless
wood
you.
Phenolic. Phenolic tip, yes.
That's Scottish.
It's Scottish.
What is a phenolic tip?
It's very...
Oh, really? Are you new?
Oh, you're going to know what phenolic tips are.
Excuse me. We have a wide range of people that listen to this show, newbies and oldies, and maybe the newbies don't know what a phenolic tip is. So I ask the questions to fill everyone in. Daniel, you got a problem with that?
Oh, okay. Very smart. Yeah, way to cover.
Old bees? Old bees.
Yeah, you.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
I don't know. I just made it up.
Phenolic is made. Ultra makes the phenolic tip, and it looks like a wooden tip.
So does
but
Anson.
It's actually
Anson makes
resin
one too.
and fabric.
Oh,
that make up a phenolic tip.
So they push.
Speaking of wood, has anyone tried the new Crush knockdowns from Glexo?
No, I just saw them today. But going back to phenolic.
I've been using them.
Okay, phenolic.
So phenolic, the way that phenolic feels, Daniel, how do you feel like phenolic? Because we have phenolic tips too now. I made some phenolic tips for Anson.
So I use phenolic when I'm doing a motorcycle tank.
Yeah.
And the reason I do is because it's thicker metal. It doesn't leave that heat that a metal tip will, but it's hard, almost hard like metal, but it just has just enough give to give you a good push without leaving that little teat that you can't get rid of on a heavy metal motorcycle tank.
Now, do you get more traction out of those tips as well?
They can. You have to keep them. I keep them sanded. I have a little sandpaper and I rough them up because they'll get polished and they'll get slick looking. But the resin that's in phenolic, I remember using this resin. They used to have it when I did gymnastics, and you would rub your feet in it to give you traction.
I'm sorry. I'm just having so many mental images of Daniel doing.
I did gymnastics when I was a little kid. I went to the Junior Olympics and I ranked 7th in the world in double mini tramp.
Now I gotta slam my head. I gotta slam my head in the door to get the picture of Daniel in tights out of my.
Well,
I'll send you a picture.
Well,
I'll send you a picture.
No way. Are there pictures?
Oh, there are pictures.
Oh my goodness. I need these in my life.
Well, Daniel
on my phone.
Daniel's like 5'4", so that's perfect for a gymnast.
Dude, I'm an onion. There's layers to me, and the longer you know me, the more you'll layers I will reveal to you.
Come on, you set yourself up for that one. That's good.
Poor Daniel.
Okay.
All right. So,
well, that's good information on the phenolic tips.
Yeah, so. And I'm helping design some different phenolic tips as well, different tips for pushing. And the reason why I wanted to do that is I've been using phenolic for years, like Daniel, on gas tanks and on dents as well. Sometimes on an open quarter panel and stuff like that, I'll use a phenolic tip, a mushroom tip and stuff like that. What's really going to be beneficial is when you're trying not to cross-contaminate, because it is wood and you'll get a nice push and you're not going to be knocking E-coat off the back of a panel. So if you're doing hail damage and you're working on an aluminum panel and you want to get that sharp push or whatever, and you're not supposed to be using steel or damaging E-coat, you could also use a phenolic sharp tip and stuff like that and make really nice pushes with it as well. It's almost like a cherry tip feel to it, almost.
Yeah. So would it be good under like heat?
Yeah,
it doesn't.
Absolutely.
Yep. It doesn't get affected by heat.
It can give you like a softer push for heat, because like I have a new tip that I've used that I started using that has been incredible. Because my R4s will break through whenever I have heat on it, and we're getting to the winter months, so I'm putting heat on more things.
Yeah.
And so R4s will bust through really quick under heat.
Yeah.
And then you can do the Tessa tape, but the Tessa tape, like, it kind of like it'll kind of go to one side or the other. It won't cover like the tip like you'd have to like layer it. And I'm just lazy, to be quite honest. I don't do leather. I know leather is an option, but leather requires like spray glue and putting it on, and I just don't know the method.
Phenolic
do what?
Phenolic, you slap it on and you're good to go.
Really?
Yeah.
So what I've been using is the polished knob from Edgy Tools.
Oh, okay.
Have y'all seen this thing?
Yeah.
So it's
great.
I mean, I just posted a link. The thing is I thought it was for blending, and I think you can use it for blending. It looks like almost like a blending, but what I do is it's such a broad surface area that when you can get heat, you can get some good broad pushes without making any sharp highs under heat. And it's been incredible for me when working with heat. and using that metal, I don't have to worry about anything pushing through. So it gives me a good, solid, soft push without any breakthrough. Because the last thing you want is having high heat, especially we talked last week about the the flake flopping.
Yeah.
Or what was the proper term, John?
Metallic flop.
The metallic shift.
Or shift.
Metallic shift. Yeah. And all it takes is like you push through your R4, then bam, high spot. And then you got a metallic shift. And that sucks. But I've been using that. It's the teeny weeny knob, I think, or whatever, the polished knob. But anyways, it's been great.
I will make one other suggestion when you really do need a soft tip is I prefer ultra soft tips with the vinyl cap. So they have two different caps. They have the mushroom cap and then they have the vinyl cap. The vinyl cap is much harder. So it's and they tend to last longer. And then I wrap that with Tessa tape. The Tessa tape sticks to that vinyl way better and holds up. I use them constantly, and they'll hold up to high heat as well when you really do need a good soft tip.
Post a link of that, Daniel, please.
Okay.
Boom. Okay, so we are moving on from the polyphase shield manipulator tips.
Actually, we never really talked about what we were talking about there with the Fedi tool. It is for open access or tight access. I think some guys were using it initially. It comes from Germany. And I think a lot of people were using it on like double edges, like where we would use a fender pliers or hood or edge pliers. They are also using it on that as well.
So going back to what John said, cracking paint. So here's how you don't crack paint. You don't use any kind of metal tip on these things. When you're using it, it has to be either a plastic tip or some kind of soft tip. Here I have an R96 from Dencraft.
Yeah.
And then I don't know who makes this tip. You could tell me probably.
That's a Dencraft tip.
Is it a Dencraft tip too? Yeah. So this one's a plastic. It's probably the same tip as the R96, but in plastic.
I use an R4 on it too. So.
Yeah. But yeah, any soft tip when you're using this. And of course, if you also use heat as well, constant heat, you'll have, no problems at all from cracking paint.
All right. So don't use a metal tip.
If you use a metal tip, that resonating sound will crack the paint from the backside.
Yeah.
That goes for hammers, anything like that. Anything you're working from the backside. If you work metal to metal, you're going to crack the paint. Guaranteed.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Okay. So some of the other things that we were going to talk about too is Daniel and I got an update from Mobile Tech or RX. Sorry, Mobile Tech RX had contacted both of us about a new feature that's on there, and Daniel's going to talk about that a little bit. And I'm not sure if you were aware of it or not, but there's a new feature.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know that much about it. So they're going to be rolling out financing for customers. So if you've got some high-priced estimates, and most of our customers, they come to us because they don't want to get involved in insurance. They're avoiding insurance in most cases. At least that's my experience. How do you feel about that, Vince? You say the same, or
are you talking door dinging or hail?
No, big dents. When you have a big smash and you're talking something, where you're talking over $1,000.
Yeah,
in the past, yes, but not anymore.
Yeah, I think that it's turning a little bit. It's going to be a big busted turn, but I'd say that
it's individual. It depends on their personal insurance history and how many,
or leased vehicle or turned in vehicle. They're trying to minimize damage and stuff like that. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
but so this is a good alternative that Mobile Tech RX is going to be introducing, and so we'll be able to offer financing. I don't know exactly how any of that's going to work, but it's coming down the pike. They're promising it at the end of the year. So we've got that to look forward to. Do you know anything about more than that than I just said there, John?
So it got discussed a little bit right before I was leaving, so I don't have a whopping load of details on it. The interest rates will undoubtedly not be released until it's ready to go live and they're kind of locked in. I don't know if they're going to be revolving. It's a convenience tool. This is something that's been going on in the roofing industry and in other forms of construction for quite a while. And the whole premise behind it is a convenience factor, one-stop convenience factor for your customers.
Right.
So, if you can make the point instead of their credit card, what the heck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't PayPal already offer this thing? Like, couldn't we already use PayPal for such a thing?
It's a little bit different though. PayPal, they all offer them, and it's not like that. It's different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, cool. That seems. That's definitely something to utilize.
And then the second part of this is, and this I really don't know much about, but it's a enterprise feature. So I'm going to rely on you, John, to kind of explain that.
Well, yeah.
So if you're working on enterprise rental cars, they have a claims portal that Enterprise uses. And right now, Enterprise is telling everybody that you have to use either CCC, Mitchell, or Autotex in order to access that claims portal. Now, MobileTech RX will be the fourth option on that list.
Okay. Yeah.
You're going to be able to send your electronic bills, estimates, everything right into that Enterprise rental claims portal directly from your MobileTech RX account.
And I think that's going to save a lot of people a lot of time. In fact, man, let's cold call someone that does an enterprise account. Why don't we do that and see how well that's going to work out?
You know such a person?
I do. I don't know if he's going to answer. He might be watching the results, but let me see if I can pull him up.
Well, if he's playing a drinking game, he's going to be in trouble.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah. Okay, let's call him and see if he answers. He might be full of cuss words, though.
Who is this?
It's a mystery guy. Let's see if you guys recognize his voice.
You reached John Scatto with RPM Dent Repair.
Mystery solved.
He sent you straight to voicemail. Gosh, what did you say about his mom?
Well, it's 9:00 in Boston right now, so he might be in bed. Anyways, John does it. There's a few other guys I could call, but I won't bother. Enterprise has changed the game dramatically with PDR technicians and recon. They don't want to get sued and stuff like that. They have to now do pre and post scans, and they have to use specific software to do that and scanning technology to do that. And there's a lot of stuff that Enterprise sells a lot of cars, guys.
But Vince,
yes,
where would somebody like a dent guy buy a scanner?
Oh, well,
where would they do such a thing?
Well, hopefully they'd be calling Anson.
What? Anson sells scanners?
But is Autel a certified? Is that a okay scanner for Enterprise?
Not necessarily. That's why I didn't bring it up. But
way to go, Daniel.
It depends.
God, I thought I threw a softball towards Vince there, man.
You tried, and I appreciate that. But actually, depending on the market, depends on if they could use Autel. And Anson is the only PDR company in the world certified retailer of Autel scanners. So just put that out there.
Okay. Next question. What's up?
Okay. Well, we're on the subject of tips, so I do want to make a little mention here. So VIP, they have I finally got their finished version, and he's saying that these are a better metal than my prototypes.
Oh, we've been selling those for weeks.
Was the Epcot and the Iron Maiden?
Yep. And
whatever you call it.
Death Star.
I've been using these more and more, and I'm really, really loving them. I'm going to highly recommend them to dent guys.
Just specific metals or everything?
Aluminum and high strength steel. So yesterday I was working on a high strength steel panel, had a dent, but it also had a deep scratch in it. So, I mean, really deep scratch. Something, I mean, it went all the way down to the metal, and that's a difficult dent sometimes to do. And it was on a reverse curve transition point, really difficult to maneuver in that area. The tool wants to slide all over the place.
Yeah,
it's hard to hit that groove because it's the scratch was so deep, and this thing will bridge that scratch and push up that area, and you can't see your tip, and it bridges, and it really works beautifully in that situation. But it really works well on all aluminum and all high strength steel.
Yeah,
really like them.
I really like it on the aluminum, especially on those Super Duties and the F-150s.
Yeah.
We have them in Anson now, and I've been messing around with them. Listen, guys, they're not cheap though. They are not cheap.
No. And honestly, you got to give him a little bit of leeway on that, because it was super expensive for him to develop those and come up with that. It was really, really difficult to do.
Not only that, but
they're 3D printed, right?
3D printed in metal.
Yeah, which is super strong. Now, to give you an idea as to how expensive 3D printing can be. My inspection wedge, when I was doing prototype testing and I went through like 5 or 6 different designs, every single design I had to get a new design printed to test it to see if that shape and everything would work.
Right.
One inspection wedge printed with plastic was $70.
Whoa.
Yeah.
$70. And I had to make, I would make several of them, and I would send several out. So the prototype testing of that silly little wedge, that one little wedge, it was $70 just a proof of concept. So can you even think about metal?
Yeah. And I remember when you sent me one, I broke it in 5 seconds. I'm like, dude, I just broke your inspection wedge. She said, don't pry with it. And I went and pried with it.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the first. That was the first one, right?
Yeah.
The first one. That's when I gave you MTE that year.
Yeah.
That was like the cheapest thing. We just wanted proof of concept right there. So that was super cheap. And then we upgraded the plastics on prototypes.
You know what? I've been saving all my prototypes, stuff that people send me like that, like yours. I saved your wedge. It's all going into the museum.
All right. Question.
And it's funny. Hold on. Yeah, go ahead.
What?
I thought I saw a really cool tool that you might have had just flash the screen there a second. I think it's the best tool that's about to hit the market ever.
I don't know. I think
Not a game
it's
changer.
a pretty crappy design, honestly.
Yeah, it could be a crappy design too.
Pretty crappy design. I mean, I don't know. This design right here. This is a hunk of junk.
Ooh. Sexy.
All right. So
all right.
What is that called?
Description.
Okay, what we have is basically take the PDR Finesse's Arkansas toothpicks, okay, or the Ultras,
The pick
sharp
tools.
tip.
Yeah,
They're sharp tip tools, okay, but instead of it being a metal, it's a nice covered with, what is this stuff? Plastisol.
Yep.
Vince?
Dipped in
Plastisol dipped.
Yep.
Okay, then we go down and it's got a double kick on it. So we've got about like a 15-degree angle kick.
Quarter, what is it? Not quarter inch. It's 5/16.
Yeah, this is I've got a 3 set. I've got 3 right here.
Yeah.
Okay, but it has a very minor
so it's very
kick.
similar to the double shots, but it's like a double shot hand tool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so this would be great when you have small little access holes that you can put it through, and you can push, and it's sharp on the end.
It's also shaved, so it's super sharp.
Shaved.
It's also shaved. So where I use this tool is right around the door handles, when you can go through that little factory hole or through a molding hole or something like that.
Exactly.
But sometimes you'll find a little bracing around the door handle and stuff, so you can still slide behind it, and you can hook under stuff, and you can twist on it or you can push on it. It's just super strong.
What's it called, Daniel?
Do what?
What's it called?
Actually, I don't know what he's going to call. What are they going to call?
I don't know, but we got like 24 of them at the shop right now, so you better come up with a name so we can start selling them.
Oh, am I supposed to come up with the name?
Well, we need a name.
Okay.
So, okay. So here's my question. I got these in, and what I immediately do anytime I get a tool in is I start flexing it. Because I want to see the flex.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
look
got
at
a
that
little side to side flex.
Okay. Do you see that?
Yep.
I don't understand why a tool like this needs to have flex.
Okay.
And why. So, Vince, help me understand why we're still doing spring steel on tools that aren't meant to be bendable, right? Like we don't ever plan. This bend is already in there for us.
Yes. You have a double bend.
It has a double bend. So why is this made out of spring steel?
Okay.
For cost or?
No, not at all. Because spring steel is actually, it's flexible for a reason. So you have a double bend. So the strength down towards the tip, there's plenty of strength. That's not bending at all, right?
Yeah, no, it's not.
No, there's no flex, no bend at all. But in the shaft part of that, between the bend and the handle, you're able to flex it a little bit. And the theory behind that is if you have to get behind a brace, you have a little bit of give that you're not going to cause a snail trail trying to get to something.
Okay, I can get that. I can get
here's
that a little bit.
I'll emphasize on that. So I prefer spring steel on any twist tool. So if you have any of stainless steel twist tools,
give us
you
an
can
example.
bend them up. You'll bend the crap out of them, and they don't bend back into shape, very easily. And a spring steel tool will, especially in a smaller diameter, will last longer in a twist type tool, I think.
They are stronger. So Hudson, you have less chance of breaking a spring steel tool than you do a stainless steel tool. Stainless steel.
I can understand that because I'm pretty sure because of how hard and flexible stainless is, I'm pretty sure it's also more brittle.
It's more brittle, yeah.
Because it's been hardened more.
Yeah, heat treated maybe harder.
Yeah. Okay, so you can definitely break it a lot quick. Because I'll tell you this, I've never broken a spring steel tool, but I've definitely broken a chrome plated one and a stainless.
The only time a spring steel tool will break is under tremendous force, but also if there's a weld on it somewhere, because when you weld on spring steel, it becomes very brittle and it crystallizes the metal or the iron or whatever it is. If you look at A1 tools up at the handle, if you have that ratcheting type of handle, you'll see that weld is not on the actual shaft of the tool.
Yeah.
Okay. And then on top of it, any handle that swings back around with a hollow handle, you know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about? That's brazed. That's not even welded. And that's where most tool failures happen in those tools are in the handles right there because that brazing weld breaks off of it.
Okay. Another question with these. I've gotten 2 packages from Anson because Vince has been very generous and Craig and Christina out there.
I got nothing to do with it.
You have nothing? No, it's just all Craig and Christina?
Yep. And they personally box them for you. So
I
can't
bonkers.
take any credit.
Ooh. They just, guys, So I was blown away by some of the tools I just got, and I can't wait to put them through the ringer and test them and kind of give and Craig called me and goes, "Hey, I'm going to send you a few tools." I'm like, "Okay, cool." I go, but if I don't like them, and he's like, yeah. He's like, just give them to someone who might like them, and they can talk about it if they want. And that's the great thing about Craig is like, I was upfront and honest. I'm like, Craig, if I don't like it, I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to just go and give you a bunch of false praise. And Craig he's such a trooper. Anyways, is this the fluid film you're talking about that's on this?
That one does not have fluid film. No.
Okay, but the ones you sent me, the other ones did, yes?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, that's really nice. I've never had experience with fluid film because I always expected it to be like super greasy and oily, but it didn't feel that way. It was just nice and...
Yeah, it's lanolin based. It's safe for body shops, so it's not oil based like that.
Okay, yeah, lanolin. Oh, that's what breastfeeding moms put on their nipples.
Yeah.
Hey. This is
what?
PG.
What? Now,
PG.
I remember when my wife was breastfeeding. She's like, "Can you go get me nipple cream? My nipples hurt."
Are you still breastfeeding?
No, this is like just back. I remember it. And then like she's like, "Get the stuff with lanolin." I'm like, "Oh, okay, whatever that is."
Yeah. No, lanolin's natural.
Yeah, it comes from cotton. The cotton plant.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So spring steel, it's flexy.
Thanks for that wealthy information there, Cliff Clavin.
Wow. Is that a Cheers reference?
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you see, Norm.
Very well-known fact about
the weakest brain cells
lanolin. It first came from pygmies in Africa that were shipped over here and were picking cotton.
It started careful.
Gosh. Okay. So we got these guys. I'm excited about these. I also, was that Door Lord? Are those Door Lords I got? No, I didn't get Door Lords.
I don't even know what's in your box. I didn't even see it. He'd like, here, ship this to Hudson. I'm like, okay.
I'm telling you what, I'm going to try it out. But
Did you write a nice note on it?
I didn't. No.
There was no nice note. But I'll tell you this is it's been wrong of me. I have been a critic of, and I still am a critic until I try it, of the tactical handle, right? I've never had any desire to get it. I didn't want to buy it because I don't like the fact that I have to take it completely off and then readjust it.
Right.
And whenever we had it at the playground, I played with it a little bit and I just didn't like it. But Craig sent me one. He's like, you need to try it. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to put it through its good tests and hopefully it makes me a believer.
See, I don't take it all the way off. I just pop it up and rotate it.
And that's where I'm probably wrong. That's why
I felt the same way as you, Hudson. That's funny you say that because I was the same way when I saw it. I was like, yeah, I don't want it for the same reason you said. Now that I have it, I actually prefer it now over everything else.
Now the machining's beautiful. It's a solid tool. It looks great. It feels great. Everything about these tactical handles is incredible.
The other thing that makes a difference on that thing, though, is because there's so many teeth in it that you can just move it a little bit. Where like Ultra has more of a hexagon head, and you're moving it like a quarter turn.
Yeah, I never liked that. That's why I never got into.
Yeah, so for that aspect, I do like it. I like the Gorilla Grip tactical handle for that reason.
Is it a hexagon or octagon?
Well, I don't know my guns.
It's
do you know your guns?
It's got 5 sides to it.
Oh, it's a pentagon? No, hexagon has 6.
Ultra?
Octagon has 8.
Yeah, don't Ultras have 5?
No.
I'm going to go get one. You guys keep on talking.
Okay. Yeah, we got to count the guns.
The debate is
Vince is going to count the guns on the gun head.
Yeah, it could be 8 it could be 8 like a stop sign. So I don't remember. They're all my motorcycle PDR tools out in the garage.
Yeah. So, yeah, but I'm excited.
I do have a Gorilla Grip adapter. Oh, we got a little feedback going.
Oh, I heard that.
But guess what?
What?
I haven't. I got a little. I don't know if I can talk about this.
Well, do you have a picture? Do you have it right here in front of you?
No, I don't. I've seen it, but Ultra's got a new handle coming out.
Oh man,
say that.
That's
all I'm going to say.
Yep, I've heard about it. I haven't seen a prototype. However,
I've seen it, and it's pretty dang good.
Oh, guys, while we're here, I'll say we're trying to be a little bit more active. Oh, what is that? Show us.
How many sides? How many guns?
I can't see it. It's washed out.
Hold on.
How many guns are there?
Let me get to a proper screen here.
1 gun.
Okay, while we're waiting for that, John, were you an algebra guy or a geometry guy?
Well, neither. But
I've failed.
Where are you at?
Come on, man.
Vince is counting. He's almost out of fingers.
He doesn't have his glasses on.
How long?
Has 8.
8?
That has 8. Yeah,
8.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's 8. Okay.
Octagon.
That's an octagon.
Yeah. Don't make me
count. Wow, look at the big brain on Brad.
Don't make me count how many are on a A1 or tactical one.
Yeah, there's like 1 million guns.
Yes, it's a gun. It's gone to the guns.
It's gonzo.
There is a lot more adjustment, and that does give some flexibility. So, Vince, let me ask you this.
Yep.
There are 2 sizes of that machinist handle used on A1 tools and various other tools. Is Anson going to be looking at making a smaller Gorilla Grip for that smaller handle?
Negatory. We will be using the inserts that we have for the smaller one.
Just to adapt them to the smaller.
There's an adapter, yes.
Make it all one size.
And as far as any Anson tool that comes out with a hub system on the top, that's what we're calling it, is a hub. They will all have the universal larger hub on them, so you don't have to worry about a adapter. So, on that note, we are also working on a inline handle. So we're hoping to see that by the end of the year, but we don't exactly know. COVID's got
a what handle?
Inline,
like the one you
just like what you're holding.
Yeah.
Oh, like one that you can add. Wait, so why would?
Because we have double shots that some people would want an inline handle. We have picks.
There's
the whole tequila line is coming in hubs here.
There's times where I would have liked to have an inline handle on one of my double shots. Way you get it back through a door into the back of the fender. Yeah. An inline handle would have been more convenient.
So that same tool that you got, Hudson, I got with 2 different handles on it, with a right handle and then an inline handle.
We're going to be making that too, because I like it with the right handle.
But I found 3 instances that the handle was in the way.
Oh, really?
So I was hitting parts of the car or the tire or something, and I had to switch to the inline handle so it wouldn't be in the way.
Well, myself and Christina, we went out and tested both handles. And because, Christina's out there, I'm working her hard for the Dent Olympics coming up and training with her. And I'm her Mickey, right?
Yeah.
So what we found is, like, for her and me, I got bad hand strength now after fixing dents for 25 years. And sometimes I can't twist with an inline handle. So that's where the T handle comes in, where I could twist with the T handle over an inline handle a lot easier. And she can't do, being a young woman. So
do you remember in Star Wars, the lightsaber where the guy had the handle? He fought Yoda. I don't know what episode it was. And the handle curved downward. So it was kind of like an inline handle. Screw you, Vince. Vince is yawning at me, rolling his eyes.
Star Wars reference.
Because he doesn't like the Star Wars.
Star Wars is great, Vince. You're stupid.
I like the old ones, not the new crappy things. Mandalorian or whatever it is.
You don't like the Mandalorian?
I haven't even watched it.
Space. It's like a space.
You haven't even
Western.
watched one.
You haven't even watched one, you dingus.
They're freaking awesome.
Go ahead, Daniel. I support you.
So it's kind of like an inline handle, and then it kind of curves down at the very end.
Right.
So it's like you can work it like an inline handle, but it's got a little bit of a curve at the very end.
I know how to answer that. That's just like the Excalibur tools for the bedside Excalibur is what you're explaining.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you know what I'm talking about?
That's off angle. Yes.
Yes. Here, I gotta find it now.
I'm not sure.
I gotta find it.
I have a couple of them. They're nice, but they're
nice. They're actually.
Or
really
how
nice.
about the inline handle springs? You pull it, and it comes, and then you pull it down into a right handle tool.
Why are you giving away all my ideas that we talked about? I'm gonna have to bleep out this whole section right now.
It's not
go bleep, 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 bleep.
So it'll be like this, and then it'll be like this.
Where's it at?
Oh, here it is. I live to make you edit. That's why.
If this comes out a day late, everyone knows why now. Here, I'm posting it. I'm putting the link right now for you guys.
It's not a new
like this. Yeah, dingus.
It was in Star Wars, okay?
It had to be real. It had to be real good. Yeah. That's nice. I have that tool. It's a good tool.
Yeah, I want it, but I'm just I have so many tools, guys.
But I'll tell you, it's a little bit awkward. It's a little bit awkward on that angle.
But it's a good awkward.
It is if you're working on a hood or something inline and straight. But when you're twisting with it, it's awkward.
Nah, I don't like that tool.
And he actually told me, he's like, hey, you might find this awkward.
Yeah, Richard, I know. I saw a couple other people review it and they loved it. So, but I don't have enough like full time on it. So,
yeah, No, and he's a really nice guy. His tools are very well made. They're actually made over at A1 as well, just like the tequila line.
Pretty great.
Yeah. So okay, moving on. I come to the segment of the podcast where I just wanted to address MTE and how all you guys that are going, you should have already gotten registered by now. But if you haven't, there is a code. What is the code again? It's PDR. What is it?
Sure, you wait till I closed all the screens on my computer.
It's Tool Time. So Tool Time is the actual discount code, and you'll get 15% off. And I don't know how it's going so far. I haven't talked to him. We haven't talked to him since he's been on the show. But there was a limited amount. Discount code, Tool Time, 15% off registration. And that includes the education day. And there's only so many spots that you could go to for education because of COVID. Now,
so there's still space in the classrooms out.
What really grinds my goat with MTE this year with COVID is people that are talking about not going because they have to wear a mask. Now, it bothers me a little bit. I wear a mask when I have to, when I'm here in Texas. If I'm going on a plane, I wear a mask. If I'm going to the store, I wear a mask. I've gotten used to it. It's just, the new norm. I'm not so adamant about not patronizing a place if I have to wear a mask. There's plenty of places here in Texas where I could go and no one's wearing masks and people are smoking indoors as well and exercising their freedom. And I'm all for it. I'd go to all of them. What I don't understand is if you look at a lot of the tool companies out there that have gone through this COVID episode that we have a pandemic, and all you guys have been kept working by being able to be supplied with their tools from PDR Finesse, from A1, from Anson. All of us have shown up every day with our doors open to serve the PDR community, right? So I think it's just a small token that if it's a mask that's going to keep you away, I think that's the wrong approach for it. I think you guys should come to MTE. If you have to wear a mask for 5 seconds to get in the door and then you sneak it off or do whatever, and they're not going to have mask police all over the freaking convention center. They're just not going to do it. And if they see you, they're going to be like, "Excuse me, sir, can you put your mask on?" You know what I mean? It's not the end of the freaking world. So go buy a beer or go buy a churro and pretend like you're drinking something. So, I mean, all these companies have stayed, obviously they have to put food on the table. They have to feed their family. That's why PDR tool companies are in business. That's how they pay their bills. We pay our bills by fixing dents. So it's just, I don't think the whole mask thing is a legitimate reason not to go to MTE unless you're sick and you can't wear a mask.
Yeah, and honestly, how many times do we complain? We complain every year about getting sick. So, actually, I'd rather go there and not get sick, just regular sick. Let's not even talk about COVID. But I like what you're saying there, Vince, because we got to support our industry. This is something that's really important to our industry. This is where we get together, we share ideas, and I look at where our industry has been and where it is now, and it's light years in a difference that is measurable in a good way. And it's because of MTE. It's us getting together and sharing ideas and making prices better and educating and getting the techs better, getting better tools. It's just all around good for our industry.
Yeah.
And honestly, sorry, John, go ahead.
As somebody who's in the non-lockdown state pretty much ever, I understand that restaurants were a little tough to get into around here for a while, but I never go out to eat. So it had absolutely zero effect on me. There's a couple of stores that you have to wear a mask to go into. I finally donned a mask twice to go into it. Otherwise, the only time I've ever had to wear a mask is for my doctor's appointment. And my wife and I discussed it and we bought our plane tickets and we booked our motel room, and we will be at MTE. And my wife ordered masks just specifically so we could go to MTE.
That's awesome. Well, good.
You know, if you don't go to MTE, COVID wins.
Right? All right, Hudson, I'm sure you got a twist on this from a young person's perspective.
The way I see it is,
don't blame Trump. Don't blame China.
How do I play it?
Oh, wait, that's the wrong one.
Donald Trump, don't trust China. China is asshole.
Okay, go ahead.
Here's my view on this as the young millennial who is
we're out of time. I'm sorry.
All right. Cue the music. Woohoo!
As a young millennial who's also a political centrist, I'm neither liberal or conservative. I will say these companies, as someone who supports capitalism and believes capitalism with morals is a great thing, a lot of these companies are operating under government restrictions, right? So when we go to MTE, it's not like MTE wants you to wear masks. If they are in a hotel and that hotel is abiding by the CDC guidelines that the state is enforcing, they have no choice. And to think that is a direct attack on you is kind of silly, in my opinion. These people are simply doing whatever it takes to stay in business, right? So instead of being shut down, they're doing what the government says and just doing it. In the same sense of, like, I personally don't care to wear a mask, but if I have a customer that feels uncomfortable, then without me wearing it, I put a mask on. You know why? Because I want to service my customer. And that's just what I do.
Have you ever had a customer ask you to put a mask on?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I had a guy that, he had a mask on and he asked before I even showed up. He was like, hey, he goes, I'm just a little bit concerned with this whole COVID thing, but would you mind wearing a mask? I go, no problem. Show up. He wouldn't even get within 6 feet of me. He paid by check. He took the check. He placed it underneath the windshield wiper. And then I went and picked it up. Never even came close to him. So
nothing wrong with that.
Here's how I think about those people. I think automatically, hey, he might have cancer, or he might have a very serious underlying health problem. You know, I came out of Costco and I saw this guy wearing gloves and a full respirator.
Yeah.
A painter respirator with the battery backup unit on it.
Nice.
And I'm like, wow, what disease does that guy have?
Right.
We had, we never got asked to wear a mask at all, but we had one guy who's super high risk, he was older, COPD. He's got a ton of other health issues that involve his lungs. And he just sat out in his car, tooted the horn a couple of times, cracked the window, spoke through the window, needed a replacement trunk panel and a bunch of other stuff. So sent him on his way. But we haven't had, I don't even have a mask at work. I think I keep one in the one that I was forced to buy.
Yeah. And the science, there's a bunch of conflicting science on it, but I'll say this, like, you know, me personally, this is as personal as we'll get, is like, when Costco put out their mask mandate before it was government, I was personally boycotting Costco. I didn't make an announcement about it. I just decided I'm not going to shop at Costco as long as they're making this mask mandate. But then the government came out and forced every business. I'm like, well, cool. I get to go back to Costco because I enjoy Costco. But there was a whole reason why I said that, and now I totally forgot it halfway through, which is pretty typical.
We only have a couple of stores out here that way. So
yeah. So here's the deal. This is what made me feel. Here's why I was saying. This is what made me feel like an absolute, excuse my language, dick. I was at my chiropractor and I was sitting there. I don't know if I already told the story. I'm sitting there. I don't have my mask on because I just didn't care because I'm not high risk. This lady a few chairs down was at the chiropractor and she was getting adjusted, but she just very kindly spoke. She goes, sorry, I don't mean to be this person, but would you mind putting your mask on? I have cancer. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll definitely put it on. And we don't know who's going through that or what's going on. Now people would say, well, maybe she shouldn't be at the chiropractor at that time. And it's like, well, really? Like, where's that? I'm a big believer in Southern hospitality. Where's the Southern hospitality in that?
Good one.
So yeah. that made me feel horrible. And that's when I was like, okay, there are people in this world that if I have to wear a little piece of cloth over my mouth so they can have some freedoms too, I'm okay with that. Because there's a lot of high risk people out there that I don't want them to not have the same freedoms that I have. And if I have to wear a silly cloth on my mouth for a few months, if that makes me some sort of flaming liberal that hates freedom, then so be it. But I see it as that allows people that are high risk to have the same freedoms that I have right now.
Yep. Visit AnsonPDR.com.
What was that?
What was that? Get them out of here.
Okay.
Well, I think this is winding down our hour.
Yeah.
And let's, does anybody have any closing thoughts to
Get out
this
and vote.
election day?
Get out and vote. Oh, no. Never mind.
They already
It's
did.
over.
Too late.
Yeah.
Stay safe.
Rebuild your community with eco-friendly wood. I don't know. Because it's burned to the ground after election day. And we're just marking, we're doing a timestamp on this right now. This is election night. The calm before the storm.
I hope before they burn down the Best Buy, somebody grabs me an 86-inch TV. So
yeah, well,
actually, if you're out there looting, I could use some new Milwaukee battery tools.
I'll take the Sonos portable one because
good one.
Because I got the sub, and that thing was like $700-800 for the sub.
The Sonos?
You got to loot to buy Sonos products.
I should have hit up a looter.
Whatever looting stuff you have, just come by my shop and all.
Yeah, that was my gift to myself, guys. Was a Sonos system.
Same here.
After I had a small little pocket hailstorm last year that hit my area, and we got through like all these cars. I go, I'm going to give myself a gift, and I got myself a Sonos surround system.
Yeah, it takes a hailstorm.
True, but man, it's amazing. Like if you like really geek out on sound, it's Sonos is pretty freaking incredible.
It is, and to think that there's better than Sonos too. But I'm okay. with Sonos.
Which is bonkers.
Yeah. All right, guys. Yeah. Well, thanks for listening. This has been episode 245. 245, and make sure to check the show notes for a bunch of links and stuff like that. And remember to sign up for MTE, damn it, so we could hang out.
Yeah, come on. We need everybody to buy Vince a beer.
Whiskey.
Whiskey.
I'm getting fat. I'm getting fat.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right,
I'll take some Blantons. If anyone wants to buy me some Blantons, I'll take it.
You'll have to tell me about Blantons after the show. Daniel, take it away, sunshine.
All right. Guys, level up your tools.
Don't do stupid stuff.
Embrace the crazy mask stupidness.
And keep it stiff.
Make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with all the industry and tool-related news every week.
Visit AnsonPDR.com for the largest selection of just about all your PDR tools, where you'll find hog glue and hog tabs.